clients,
Multitask.
I teach them one-on-one how to pitch their ideas to get on television, also how to communicate once that they are selected to be either in an interview or on a lifestyle show, and then how to take that and grow that to a bigger platform. Say you start on local television, but you want to go to a national television market. So those are all things that were inherent with me because I lived that for years and years and years. And so I really didn't recognize that that was something a lot of people want help with. And I've read many books and seen webinars of other talent coaches that are out there. And quite frankly, I'm like, wait, I know all of that. That's nothing new to me. So then I realized, you know what? I have something that I can teach. I do have a skill, but I didn't recognize that. So I wish I would have seen that early on in myself. The other thing is structure. When you're used to always getting up at a certain time, 1:45, 2 o'clock in the morning, you get to the station, you're on the air at a certain time, and then you know when you're gonna be off the air. I still jump sometimes at 7:26 in the morning thinking, oh my gosh, I'm missing my cut-in, because at that point you're done with the morning newscast, and then you're at your desk, but you've got to go back to the studio in order to do your news break at 7:26, 7:56, 8:26, and so that's still inherent in you. Well, I don't have that structure anymore. And so sometimes I will start on a project, then I'll move to another project, and I'll move to another project. And as my daughter says, she's like, sometimes you're spinning your wheels because you're always working when you're a small business owner. And so focus is one thing. The other thing is develop a structure that works for you, because it's hard to stay on task when it's just basically the Wild West with your time out there. One thing that I've done is I have a little lamp in my office, and I'll turn that on when I'm working, because it's like, okay, this is the time I need to work. I also am trying to implement where I will yell at Alexa, set the timer for 1 hour. I've got 1 hour to finish a particular type of project, because if not, you think, okay, I've got the whole night to get this done, you'll stay up until 1 o'clock in the morning, when maybe you just need to give yourself a deadline, because I was a journalist for decades. We worked on that. That's what I worked on, deadline. So I need to implement that. But that sounds like common sense, but it's taken me a little while to go, oh, that's why I'm not getting everything that I want done. The other thing is always make sure, and this is one thing that I have done, is have a mentor and have people that you can bounce ideas off of. And also have those people who are fellow business owners or sales folks who get what you're going through, who can give you advice, and even sometimes just be there to listen to you bellyache about something. And I really think that those are three things: focus, have a set pattern, and then have a mentor can really help you.
Well, those are very, very solid. And I will tell you, circling around to what you said about focus, I have learned that the hardest thing, if I could tell you the hardest thing about being an entrepreneur, being self-employed, is finding balance. There's no question that you have the drive, that I have the drive, that others, that anybody who goes out and wants to work for themselves has that drive. But determining how many hours a day or a week or a month, or how many minutes an hour to spend on your vocation or on your business, if you will, as opposed to your family or just sanity time, is very difficult. And I've been doing it for as long as you've known me, and I still do not have it under control. Balance for me is a daily challenge, and you'll figure that out. But what's great is you've already taken some steps. Just setting your Alexa timer to and having that background of working on deadlines, and knowing that you have to have something done in a certain amount of time is that's a great thing. I wish I could teach myself to do that, and I don't know, maybe someday I will, but we're talking about you. So I
didn't say that I'm good at it. I said I'm trying. I'm trying to figure it out right now.
Yeah, well, you got it. You're ahead of the curve. Honestly, you're ahead of the curve. So one of the questions I was going to ask that you started answering is kind of where have you gone for help? I mean, I have given you free advice, and I've always told you have to take it for what it's worth. But I know that you have had, just because of your connections, your your personality, your drive, your connections, that you've had access to a lot of pretty influential people. Where do you go to get advice now, and how often do you seek it, and what's been the best advice that you've received?
Every day I get advice, and a lot of times it's just motivation, and I think that it just depends. It seems to the advice that I need seems to appear. So I kind of think, I think it was Einstein that said, there are no coincidences. It's a way for God to remain anonymous. So I kind of feel like what I need sometimes just appears out of the air. I call people, I talk to people, I email, I reach out through LinkedIn. I am a member of a networking group. I attend luncheons. And really, it's just, I think having an honest conversation with any new business person that I meet, or any person, it doesn't have to be someone who owns their own business. It could be someone who is in sales. See, when you're in television news, that is such an odd animal when you compare it to the business model out there. Like I was concerned about making sure the facts were straight, making sure that I was doing the best job conveying the stories of people that I was telling, and creating good television. That's different than getting a business to advertise or getting someone to buy your product. Indirectly it is, but I didn't have to deal with budgets. I never had to deal with worrying about if I'm hitting whatever type of sales goals that the company had. So I have great admiration to all folks who have had to do that. And so a lot of times with those who maybe are not an individual business owner, they have a lot of important advice and information to give me. So I would say just anywhere and everywhere. The other thing is like just with some of the laws that are out there, and I know I've asked you about a lot of them, I've taken classes. And UTSA here in San Antonio, they have free classes for entrepreneurs, for learning about sales tax, or learning about federal taxes, or learning about becoming or getting your LLC, or if you should go with a different type of business model. They have advisors that are free that will work with you, mentors that will help draw up a business plan. I know that Bexar County, they have a department of small business and entrepreneurship where, again, it's free, mostly free advice, because the thing is, the more successful small businesses we have, the stronger of a country we have, of an economy we have. So everyone wants small businesses to succeed. And so if you're not finding it where you are, there are resources out there. Just Google it, how to get help for my small business. And I bet you the college that is nearest to you will have some sort of an extension of the Small Business Administration that will help you. I don't know if I answered your question. See, I'm not very good at answering questions. I'm better at asking them.
But you know what though, you've done a lot of research, and a lot of people don't know where to start. Mm-hmm. Hopefully there are many soon-to-be entrepreneurs, want-to-be entrepreneurs. I hate to use that phrase, but there's people that just are tired of the grind, mm-hmm. or have found themselves in positions like you, or just they're just young and starting out, and they don't know where to go. And this is what we're here for, is to find that resource. So that's good that you're sharing. I appreciate you sharing this kind of info. It's good to know.
I've got to share this, Todd, is that the number one age group where we are seeing the most successful startups is not the millennials. It is the mm-hmm. 55 to 64 age group. Now, I'm not there yet, but mm-hmm. that gives me such great hope. And out of if you look at a 5-year window, 70% of those new startups are still in business. Whereas if you look at the millennial group, only about little less than 30% are still in business after 5 years. And it's because of experience, knowledge, and sometimes just the thought that, I gotta make it, or I'm not gonna have a roof over my head. And so sometimes when you're pushed to the extreme, that's when you're the most successful, and you get creative and you figure out a way to make your business work. And so
Well,
I thought that was, I shared that on my LinkedIn page. LinkedIn is a great resource, not to give them free publicity,
Isn't
but
it?
even
No, it is,
their education window that they have, you have to pay for premium for that, but it's well worth it. So that's a community where you network. That's the other advice I would give, network. I can't tell you the
There you
number
go.
of times I have handed out, said, hey, will you take my card? Is it okay if I give you my card? And usually people say yes. I don't know if they look at it, but you got to keep trying.
They do, and you're right. It's a numbers game, and you're learning the sales side of it, which again is not something that you have had a background, but that's the first thing that you learn, honestly, when you get going, is you have to learn to sell your business, and you're doing great at it. Again, you've had a lot of great contacts, and you've known where to go, so that's impressive.
You know what? But that's one thing that I'm not doing a good job of is marketing myself. And here I'm all about quotes. So I've got a lot of these little quotes that are I write down on index cards in my office.
Right.
Here's one: marketing is not pushing people to buy things; it's drawing them in to listen. And so when you put it that way, then another book that I read, the author said that sales is all about the exchange of ideas. And when you look at it that way, and you look at it that it's helping the other person rather than it be about you getting something by making the sale, then that's more comforting to me, because I have never been a person, I'm horrible about asking for like donations for even charities that I've worked for or volunteered for. And so you got to look at it that it's helping the person that you are working with rather than it is helping you reach a sales goal or pay your mortgage or whatever it may be. It's all about just changing the emphasis to realize, hey, this is admirable. What I'm doing is I'm helping someone improve their lives.
That's right. It is noble. Sales, a sales career, and I say this as a guy who's a lifelong sales guy, is a noble career. It's a noble profession, and again, most people don't realize that they're doing it even when they're, the best salespeople are the ones that don't, or when you don't feel like you've been sold anything.
Exactly.
And I
want to get there.
Try to do. Yeah.
And I
Exactly.
definitely want to get there and get more comfortable with it, because I'm trying to change my brain from a storyteller's brain to a business mind, and I'm slowly going to get there. And one more thing that I wanted to add is that I was talking with she's had her business for about 6 years now, and she said the first 2 years were hell, absolute hell. And I see what she means by it. You've got to keep going even when you don't feel like you can take another step. And for me, that's when, like, I got a text this morning from someone who said, we were in Bible study and this book we're reading that is going along with some of the passages that we're studying, and really thought of you. And I was like, you know what? I really needed it at that moment, and that lifted me up, and I'm able to keep going. So I just think that we need to keep this connectivity as humans to keep each other going, and ultimately that means that we have a great economy, which makes everyone happy, right? We've got to have that.
Absolutely. I remember seeing a long time ago when I started my career in the insurance business, working with my granddad, and he used to have a sign on this little quote on his wall, and it's very simple, but it said, "Nothing happens until somebody sells something." And I've always thought, okay, that's a good way to learn, and that's something good to live by. And you're right. I mean, it drives everything. So you're learning, and you're getting your feet underneath you a lot faster than you give yourself credit. But let's talk. So let's talk about marketing. Tell me about. Let's give everybody a shout out for all your social media outlets. I've taken a lot of time with you today, and it's been great stuff, and I appreciate it. But I want you to plug your website, plug your social media, and tell everybody where they can find you.
Okay, right now I'm holding up one of my famous index cards I love to write quotes on, and it's got my website, which is www.lesliebohl.net, which is LESLIEBOHL.net. You can find me. I have a new Facebook page, which is Leslie Bohl Media. That's the name of my company. Also, you can find me on Facebook, Leslie Bohl TV. and on Instagram at Leslie Bohl, on LinkedIn at Leslie Bohl, on Twitter at Leslie Bohl. I think I'm just about everywhere. And just look for Leslie Bohl, and you will find me. And I'll be more focused by the time you find me. Let's just say that. That's a daily goal.
I don't know how that's possible. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up. As you know I'm a Sammy Hagar fan.
Yes.
So Sammy Hagar has a show, and I'm not plugging his show, but I'm a huge fan of his. He has this show called Rock and Roll Road Trip. And at the end of every show, with his guests, he has this little segment called This or That. Mm-hmm. And I love it because it's very quick, but it's very insightful into his interviews. And so I have created a version of This or That for you.
Okay.
So it's very simple. All I need is probably one word answers. I'm going to give you 5 little quick questions, and you just, whatever comes to your mind, you give me the answer. So the first one is employee or self-employed?
Right now I'm self-employed.
There you go. So that's your prep. These are all your preferences.
My preferences.
Not just necessarily
but
where
see,
you are.
you can see that I had some doubt there.
Sorry. Let me let me start that over. Employee or self-employed?
Self-employed, yes.
Awesome. San Antonio or Austin?
I have to say San Antonio. Austin's my hometown. But
Okay,
yeah, San
all right.
Antonio.
All right. Barbecue or Mexican food?
Mexican food. Yeah.
Football or baseball?
Football.
Ball gown or boots?
How about both?
I knew that was going to be the answer. I knew your ball gown with your boots, and that's a Texas girl right there for you.
Yep.
Hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in to this very, I won't call it the first episode, but it's the first episode of the Not So Small Business Podcast 2.0. You can find us on YouTube. If you like what you hear or see, pick that thumbs up and subscribe and all those good things that you do through with iTunes and Google Play and YouTube. We're at Not So Small BIZ on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the normal social media channels, and we appreciate it and look for new episodes to come out every Tuesday. And Leslie, you will be back, I hope, many times. And,
great.
and thank you so much for joining. It was awesome to catch up with you, and super proud of your accomplishments. And we're always here, and I'm anxious to see where the road takes you.
Baby steps. Yes, thank you for your support. And I can't wait until next Tuesday.